So, meine lieben Leute. Was geht, was geht? Warum ist die Ecke so hässlich? Ha, ja. Immer diese Lichtverhältnisse. Ah. Okay, deswegen. So, ich verstehe. So. Das andere Licht war einfach zu dunkel. Und ich wundere mich schon, hä? Was ist los? So, Leute, was geht? Willkommen zu einer, Jesus. Willkommen zu einer weiteren schönen Runde des Stanley Parable 2. Ist ja nicht Ultra Deluxe, ist ja der zweite Teil. Und ich bin JIMITUR. Wir sind ja alle Jim. Auch du, Schakal28, du bist auch Jim. Wir sind alle Jim. Und wir gehen ins Gym. Und ja, Syntherex und Schakal, was geht? Mehr sind gerade nicht da. Keiner hat Bock auf Stanley Parable 2. Wayne juckt's. Und erstmal muss ich die Uhrzeit wieder einstellen hier, ne? Es ist 21 Uhr 3. Ah, 21 Uhr 3, deine Lieblingsuhrzeit. Ja. Oder konntest du einfach nicht anders, als mir die korrekte Zeit zu geben? Ich, ich habe dir die korrekte Uhrzeit gegeben. Ich weiß ja schließlich, wie gern du die korrekte Uhrzeit einstellst. Danke. Okay, jetzt interessiert es mich, wie präzise 21 Uhr 3 ist. Benutzen wir eine weitere Regel, um es herauszufinden? Präzise. Weißt du, du sollst wissen, dass ich ungeachtet der Präzision der Uhrzeit großen Spaß am Anpassen dieser Einstellung habe. Ich habe das Gefühl, mehr über dich zu erfahren und darüber, wie du Einstellungen vornimmst. Es ist gut, Daten zu sammeln. Es werden jetzt hier einfach Daten von mir gesammelt. Ich wünsche, wir hätten mehr Regler, aber wir sind alle Regler durchgegangen, die ich habe. Vielleicht kann ich ein paar neue Slider erfinden, um neue Daten über dich zu sammeln. Sollte nicht zu schwer sein. Ja, lass mich ein paar neue auftreiben. Sollte fertig sein, wenn du das nächste Mal das Spiel startest. Oh. Geht ja direkt los mit Stanley Parable 2. Sehr schön. Na dann, Spiel beginnen. Beginnen wir das Spiel.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Na gut, das können wir überspringen. Also, willkommen zurück. Danke.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ach ja, wir haben ja hier den Beruhigungseimer. Hä, warte mal. Daniel, was geht? Hä, warte, was habe ich beim letzten... Fuck, ich hätte mir angucken sollen, was ich beim letzten Mal gemacht habe. Nicht, dass ich gleich irgendwie was doppelt mache. Was habe ich zuletzt gemacht? Also, Jesus. Was habe ich zuletzt gemacht? Ach, das war das mit dem Kassettenrekorder. Ja, doch, ich erinnere mich. Wir sind dorthin gegangen. Ah, ja, I remember. I remember. Alles klar. Okay. So, bin wieder da. Mein Handy hat Faxen gemacht. Ah, ja. Okay, wir nehmen den...
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Oh, dieser schöne Eimer, ne? So.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
How about no?
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Also das...
The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Das brauche ich ja jetzt hier nicht zu machen, weil... Oder war da noch irgendwas, was ich machen... Wir nehmen das. Also ich glaube, da hinten ist nichts mehr.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there.
Ist das nicht der Kackeimer aus Half-Life? Ich glaube schon.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have
Das ist also die Stimme vom Eimer.
because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this.
Aber was ist, wenn ich jetzt einen anderen
He
Weg
was
gehe?
firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Was ist, wenn ich eigentlich mit dem Eimer... Ich meine, es ist ja etwas komplett Neues, was ich hier mache mit dem Eimer, oder nicht? Wenn ich jetzt mit dem Eimer hier hingehe... What happens?
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly.
Are you sure?
So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Warte, das gefällt mir nicht, auf was das hier hinausläuft. Also schön, dass man da mit dem Eimer nicht reingehen darf, aber... Ich krieg jetzt ehrlich ein Seminar, eine Unterrichtung, was ein Eimer ist. Dann erklär mir mal, was ein Eimer ist.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Ah, ich weiß nicht, Leute. Ich weiß nicht, ist das ein Eimer? Ich weiß es nicht. Also, kann ich hier irgendwie so einen Joker oder so holen? Ich glaube, also nee. Also ja, ihr habt recht. Das ist kein Eimer.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket.
Was?
Not an actual bucket.
Was? What?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Kann ich das näher inspizieren? Nein. Das andere war kein Hologramm. Yo, Gamer, was geht? Das ist safe kein Eimer.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What? Oh mein Gott, Leute, wir liegen richtig.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Also... Das eine war ein Hologramm von einem Eimer. Das andere war eine 3D-Eimer. Aber was ist das dann? Safe eine Halluzination. Safe. Das ist kein Ich betone, wir brauchen einen Telefonjoker, ja. Aber safe. Safe ist es kein Eimer.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Vicky, was geht? Das war ein Eimer?
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Leute, ich fühle mich gerade mega verarscht. Als ob das Spiel was mit Trackern hat. Ne? Die OGs wissen, das erste Video auf meinem Kanal, der Deutz. Als ob jetzt einfach so safen, als ob einfach so aus dem Nichts ein Tracker kommt. Also man kann es mit Wasser füllen. Safe ist das ein Eimer. 1000%. Safe. Also ganz ehrlich. Das verwandelt sich gleich in einen Eimer. Oder der dreht sich gleich und da ist irgendwo ein Eimer versteckt. Safe ist das ein Eimer.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely
Justin Hein, was geht, Metal, Leute? Oh.
Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Ich bleib immer noch bei meiner Antwort. Das war... Da ist safe irgendwas mit einem Eimer. Ja.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Siehst du, sagte ich doch. Ich sagte doch, dass es ein Eimer ist.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Das ist immer noch ein 3D-Eimer. Aber es ist nicht der Eimer. Das ist nicht, ich wiederhole, nicht der Beruhigungseimer. Safe. Safe nicht. Das ist Jim.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Richtig und falsch?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Is this a bucket? Ja.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
So, Leute. Als Waffel, was geht? Ist nichts ein Eimer? Das ist die eine... Warte, ich muss mich wie Günther Jauch hinsetzen. Also, Leute. Ist nichts ein Eimer? A. Ja. B. Vielleicht. C. Wann anders? Oder D. Nein. 1 Million Euro Frage, Leute. 1 Million Euro Frage. Alle sagen ja. Dominik, was geht, ja? Mhm. 3 Leute sagen ja. Und 2 Leute sagen nein. Ich zähle bis 10, okay? Und dann gucken wir mal, was passiert, okay? Wenn ich bis 10 gezählt habe und es bleibt bei ja, dann nehmen wir ja, okay? 1, 2, 3. Oder wir machen es so, das, was Daniel jetzt vorgeschlagen hat. Wir machen das, was Daniel vorgeschlagen hat. Chat-Umfrage, Leute. Chat-Umfrage. Ist nichts ein Eimer? Ja, nein. 1 Minute. Let's go. So, Leute, hier habt ihr nochmal motivierende Musik. Ihr könnt abstimmen. Ah, warte, ich muss ja wie Günther Jauch sitzen. Also, ihr könnt überlegen. Schatz, du kannst es auch sagen.
Was denn?
Ist nichts ein Eimer?
Eimer.
Ja, ist nichts ein Eimer? Ja oder nein?
Nein. Guck schon so, als ob es eine Ja-Frage.
Das ist die 1 Million-Dollar-Frage jetzt hier. Mhm. Ist nichts ein Eimer? Leute, ihr habt noch 10 Sekunden Zeit abzustimmen. Ja oder nein? Und gewonnen hat... Ja! Alles klar, Leute. Ja.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. Yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
Ist der Erzähler ein Eimer?
Sorry, but I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
Ist... Oh,
What happened? Is everything gone?
ich hab...
Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease.
Wow, wir sind keine Eimer, aber der Rest ist alles ein Eimer
But
gewesen.
it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what. I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Ich muss mich gerade selber hinterfragen, ob ich ein Eimer bin.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Also
What
sind
could
wir...
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
Sind
room.
wir...
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt
Sind wir
away
alles
as
Eimer?
Stanley embraced the bucket.
Oh, Ralf. Mashallah, Alter. Ehrenkuss auf die Nuss. 18 Monate schon, Ralf. Easy. Also wir halten fest, wir sind alles Eimer. Nee, warte. Der Erzähler und Stanley sind nicht Eimer, aber der Rest sind Eimer.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Aber was ist?
Said the bucket.
Was
Don't go
ist?
to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good.
Said the bucket.
Was ist, wenn
Now
ich
ride
die
the
Fragen
lift all
richtig
the way to the
beantworte?
top.
Ich meine
There's
falsch
something up there I
beantworte.
need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was
Daniel,
speaking to.
ich wurde
It
gebaitet.
should have alarmed him, of course, because
Daniel
buckets
seit
can't
7 Monaten.
move. But Stanley
Ehrenkuss
chose not to
auf die
think about
Nuss.
this
Dankeschön.
obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Was ist, wenn wir die Fragen alle falsch beantworten, ne? Leute, was passiert, wenn wir die falsch beantworten?
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a
No
sign right there.
buckets.
It says no buckets past
Ja, aber
this
alles
point.
ist ein Bucket.
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Aber was ist, wenn ich die Sachen alle richtig beantworte und am Ende sage ich, dass er ein Bucket ist? Was passiert dann?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Okay, Leute, wir beantworten jetzt alles
This
falsch,
should tell us
okay?
everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
So,
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
das ist auf jeden Fall kein Bucket.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Nein, wir wissen, das ist ein 3D geprintetes Bucket. Das heißt, es ist kein Bucket.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Sie.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Ja, das tatsächlich schon.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Also, das ist an sich ja eigentlich ein Eimer. Aber wir wollen das jetzt mal falsch beantworten, ne?
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is this a bucket?
Nein.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Was?
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Also rein technisch gesehen ist das ja ein Bucket. Aber wir müssen es ja falsch beantworten immer noch, ne?
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which
Oh,
of
nein,
course is not
nein.
true.
Oh.
Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Ist, also rein technisch gesehen, ne? Alles ist ja ein Eimer. Aber wir wollen ja falsch antworten. Ne? Es ist rein technisch gesehen, ist ja alles ein Eimer. Ne? Just Legends ist ein Eimer. Die Fernbedienung ist ein Eimer. Das ist ein Eimer. Das ist ein Eimer. Es ist ja eigentlich alles ein Eimer. Es ist alles im Eimer! Oh mein Gott! Es ist alles im Eimer! Oh mein Gott! Es ist... Oh mein Gott! Es ist alles im Eimer! Oh mein... Es ist alles im Eimer.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Ja.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all
Hallo?
I ever had to begin
Hallo?
with.
Oh oh.
I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
Don't do that.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Du hattest ein Ende mit dem unendlichen Loch übersehen. Was? Was? Mir fällt gerade auf, Bruno ist gar nicht da. Naja. Ja. Beim nächsten Mal. Bruno ist kurz pennen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No.
Du hättest immer wieder reinspringen müssen.
Bucket was wrong.
Woher soll ich das denn wissen? Woher soll ich das wissen?
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Yeah, good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley
Man
chose
kann da,
not
glaub
to
ich,
think
wieder
about
hin.
this obvious fact. He was firmly
Sure?
convinced that the bucket had spoken to him,
Sure?
and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Alles klar.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Schön, dass der Eimer auch so die ganze Zeit so Soundeffekte von, also so Sachen von sich gibt. Schön, dass ein Eimer mit mir redet.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
How about no?
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things.
Aber ich dachte, der
Buckets
Eimer
can't
redet mit
talk.
mir.
It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Oh, kriegen wir wieder das Tutorial wegen Entscheidungen
What
machen?
is comedic timing?
Oh,
What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last?
How can it be used to effectively
okay, ich
silence your
verstehe.
political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then
Ich heiße JIMITUR.
spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds
Was?
and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the
Warum sind die
12
eigentlich alle wie
who
Simpsons?
threaten
What
our
the?
very existence, and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme. Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it?
Ich möchte mal kurz ausprobieren. Der Witz darf nicht länger als 18 Sekunden sein und auch nicht weniger als 13,5 Sekunden. Ich muss mich 50 bis 80 Zentimeter Abstand stellen, meinen rechten Arm hochheben, im 15-Grad-Winkel, und dann sage ich meinen Namen und ich erzähle einen Witz. Und danach muss ich meinen Namen buchstabieren und dann sagen, I'm Dunny with the funny. Okay. Mein Name ist JIMITUR. Wusstet ihr, dass OG-Log eigentlich total gut ist? Nein, das ist er eben nicht. JIMITUR. I'm Dunny with the funny. Hat's geklappt? Hat es geklappt? Wow. Oh shit. Wow. Wow, okay. Gut zu wissen. Ja. Yeah. Gut zu wissen. Ey, das hat wirklich. Dankeschön. Stanley Parable hat mir was Neues beigebracht.
Well, no
Mega
matter,
Mania, was
I
geht?
think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Der Abstand war zu groß, Alter. Verdammt! Irgendwann, wenn ich auf der Bühne stehen werde, stehe ich auch viel zu weit weg. Ah, ja.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll
Oh,
be in
das ist weg.
stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video.
Finde ich auch.
Otherwise, who
Tankäfer,
knows
was
where
geht?
we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Alles klar. Der Eimer. Der versucht erstmal, er versucht den Comedian-Timing herzustellen. Aber es war für den Anfang gut. Dankeschön. Danke. Das mit dem Arm ist seit 45 aus der Mode gekommen. Ja, aber das andere ist ein anderer Gradwinkel, ne? Ich glaube, bei dem anderen muss man den Arm nämlich um 90 Grad anwinkeln. Weil es dann ein rechter Winkel ist. G-E-M-I-T-U-R. I'm Danny with the funny.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
How about no? Oh, what's that?
What? We're back at the phone already.
What?
No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing.
Oh.
I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again.
Lehrvideo.
Surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Oh.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Da passiert was sehr Interessantes. Das will ich mir auf jeden Fall nicht entgehen lassen.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Mhm.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley,
Oh.
you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional.
Sorry,
videos.
Leroy.
That's
What?
exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More.
Der Sprecher war die ganze Zeit ein Eimer.
Let's see.
Ja,
Let's see.
because alles ist im Eimer. Alles ist im Eimer.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly
Was ein
alone.
schöner
Not
Eimer.
with the bucket around. Stanley clutched
So.
the bucket tightly to his chest.
So leid es
and
mir auch
entered
tut,
the door
Leute.
on his left.
Aber diesmal spielen wir es mal so, wie der Erzähler sagt, wie ich es spielen soll, okay? Wir wollen ja gucken, was passiert. Wir wollen ja gucken, was passiert, ne? Das kennen wir ja alle. Wait a second. Irgendwas stimmt hier in diesem Raum nicht. If I agree have to sin it. How can you tell you've spotted one? What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? Follow clues provided by employee 416. We can do it. Red room? Thank you, good luck. Stimmt, wir haben ja noch unsere Collectibles. Was passiert, wenn wir die Bottom Text? Was ist, wenn wir die Collectibles finden? Alle Collectibles. There will be a reward for finding them all. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. I want to go home. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Oh. Oh. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Somewhere above red and blue, nearby a fireplace. A private but smelly place for an important person. Gotta collect them all. 5 there be, just take it from me. This is some kind of game. Irgendwas hat es mit diesen Collectibles auf sich. Okay. Oh. Yes.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons.
Kann ich
Even this
verstehen.
is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Also hör mal ganz genau zu, scheiß Besenkammer du, ne? Ich
Okay,
Und
I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Okay, Biesenkammer, ich wollte gerade meine Punkte aufzählen, aber du hast den Erzähler gehört.
I've got a second sticker back
was?
here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Das ergibt Sinn. Oh, man hört was Kleines, Niedliches im Hintergrund. Ja, ja.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Okay. Ihr habt den Erzähler gehört, ihr dreckigen Putzutensilien, ne? Das ist mein Eimer. Ich habe mit denen vieles erlebt. Wir sind beste Freunde. Und ihr könnt alle eure Fressen halten. Habt ihr mich verstanden? Das ist mein Eimer. Wir sind beste Freunde. Von Anfang an. Und ihr könnt nichts, ich wiederhole, nichts dagegen sagen. Habt ihr mich alle verstanden? Habe ich mir schon gedacht.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, was ist denn hier unten? Oh.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
Mini stands.
Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes,
Stanley
I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Geil. 3 von 6. Let's go! Epic Gamer Moment. Was haben wir denn hier unten?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the words were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Oh nein!
Ich
hab die ganze Zeit einen falschen Bucket gehabt.
None of them were his. None of them were his special
Oh nein!
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity.
Wo ist mein Eimer?
He froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
Oh.
The real bucket was inside of him all along.
In mir drin?
Painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Ich habe mir den
This is
Eimer
the
zu meinem
story
Eimer
of
gemacht.
a woman named Mariella.
Was? Wait a second.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Das ist gerade ziemlich komisch.
Got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Und sie hat die ganze Zeit nur Rückwärtssaltos gemacht. Perfekt. So muss das sein. Ach, hätte ich nur den Eimer von zu Hause nicht vergessen. Goddammit, ich habe die ganze Zeit einen fremden Eimer gehabt. Scheiße, Alter. Die ganze Zeit einen fremden Eimer gehabt. Kann doch nicht sein. Nee, aber das hier ist doch safe mein Eimer.
Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So, es fehlen ja noch 3 Figuren. Okay. Nein, 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 mit der Besenkammer reden wir nicht.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Aber was ist, wenn es jetzt mein Eimer... Nein. Das wird wahrscheinlich wieder das gleiche Ende triggern. So. Gehen wir doch mal hoch zum Chef. Executive Bathroom? Ah, okay.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies.
Figlies.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Also Stanley Gurn finde ich auch schon ziemlich nice, die Bezeichnung, ne? Wo es am Rand erwähnt. To be rich, is it a crime? Ist das ein Gedicht? To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be. You have to pick just one. Okay, okay. Extreme Bathrooms, was steht da? Bath heute in the trial. Okay. Was ist, wenn der Eimer dein Chef ist? Oh! Was ist, wenn der Chef ein Eimer ist? Oh mein Gott. Das wär's. What? The beige. Oh. Okay. Das ist aber nicht der Chefraum, den ich eigentlich kenne. Indoors Monthly. Oh, wie süß, ein Panda. Fahren wir doch mal mit dem Fahrstuhl. Ich würde mal nach oben. Du siehst ja die offene Tür, wenn du weit genug weggehst, geht die automatisch zu. Du musst im richtigen Moment rausgehen, bevor sie zugeht. Die Doppeltür. Was? Geht's nur mir so, dass das heiß hier drin? Warte, wir waren schon die ganze Zeit da. Hä? Hä? What? Stanley. Was? Ist das eigentlich der Erzähler, der gerade da rumsingt? Rumsummt? Digga, ich fühle mich gerade so, als ob ich bei irgendeiner Warteschlange gelandet bin. Wenn ich bei der fucking Telekom anrufe. So fühlt sich es gerade an. Bitte bleiben Sie dran. Sie werden zum nächsten Mitarbeiter weitergeleitet. Also Sie stehen beim nächsten Mitarbeiter schon bei der Warteschlange an. Dann mache ich erstmal ein paar Dehnübungen. Ich glaube, das wird noch ein bisschen länger dauern hier. Alles gut? Naja. Es war ein interessanter Versuch. Momentan sind alle Leitungen belegt. Wir überwinden sie in Kürze mit den nächsten freien Mitarbeiter. Diese braune Doppelte zum Büro führt. Also ich soll da reingehen und dann direkt wieder raus, bevor es zugeht. Oh. Okay. Okay. Was passiert jetzt? Ja, was jetzt? Jetzt zurückgehen. Dann gehen wir mal zurück. Toll. Okay. Oh. Okay. Ich glaube, das kommt mir irgendwie bekannt vor. Ich glaube, ich habe das beim ersten Teil von Stanley Parable auch gemacht. You are now leaving. Ich weiß nicht wieso, aber es kommt mir irgendwie bekannt vor. Escape Pod. Schon wieder ein Fahrstuhl. Okay. Das kommt mir ziemlich bekannt vor. War es beim ersten Teil auch so? Gab es da nicht auch sowas in der Art? Der Erzähler ist auch plötzlich verschwunden, ne? Der sagt nichts mehr. Vielleicht haben wir ihn abgehängt. Okay, wie viele Stufen soll ich jetzt hochgehen? Wo ist eigentlich der es wird langsam dunkel hier oben.
Von Not macht erfinderisch.
Wo ist der Escape Pod Lounge Bay? Sehr schön. Na dann, let's go. Oh. Ich habe doch gesagt, dem Erzähler wurde es langweilig und dann musste man einen neuen anstellen. Ja. Kann ich jetzt mit dem Gerät flüchten? Oh. Er will, dass der Eimer flüchtet. Ach, das war ja süß. Der wollte, dass der Eimer flüchtet. Oh. What the hell?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Der Eimer ist jetzt weg. Nee. Oh mein Gott.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh mein Gott, der Eimer ist weg. Oh mein Gott. Der Eimer ist geflüchtet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Was ist, wenn ich jetzt eigentlich nach unten gehe? Werde ich auch verrückt? Der Eimer hat es geschafft zu flüchten. Ich bin so stolz auf ihn, ne? Was ist, wenn ich...
Stepping in.
Kann ich jetzt selber flüchten? Safe, oder? Safe kann ich doch jetzt selber flüchten, oder? Was muss ich eigentlich noch erledigen? Somewhere above red and blue nearby a fireplace. Okay. Der Eimer hat es geschafft zu flüchten. Ich bin so stolz auf den Eimer, ne? So, jetzt ist die Frage. Der Eimer ist jetzt geflüchtet. Kann ich auch flüchten? Der Eimer wartet auf der anderen Seite auf uns. Yes. Denkst du, jetzt ist das Ende selbst herausgefunden? Ja. Doch, finde ich schon. Weil ich war tatsächlich schon öfters überlegen, ob ich irgendwo, wenn ich einen Raum betrete, einfach aus dem Raum rausgehe, sobald die Tür halt zugeht, ne? Den Gedanken hatte ich schon gehabt, aber ich wusste jetzt nicht, dass man, also, ist es egal, bei welchem Raum ich das mache, oder ist es nur beim Chefraum? Oder wird das nur, also wird es wirklich nur beim Chefraum gewertet? Oder wird es überall gewertet? Es geht nur dort. Krass. Ja, man muss ja wirklich in diesem Spiel alles ausprobieren und wirklich alles sich anzuschauen, ne? So, jetzt ist die Frage, kann ich jetzt selber flüchten? Oder ist der Escape Pod weg? Nee. Da ist auf jeden Fall ein Escape Pod. Jetzt ist die Frage. Was passiert? Oh, ich kann.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh.
What could it mean?
Ich kann nicht.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Replacement bucket.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Oh. Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Das ist ja weird. Einfach so ein Ersatzeimer. Müssen wir noch die zwei Figuren finden, ne? Nur mal so am Rande erwähnt. Kann ich den Eimer eigentlich hier zurückstellen?
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Okay. Was, wenn man jetzt nochmal los wird? Stimmt. Kann man ihn nochmal loswerden? Nee, ich hab jetzt ehrlich gesagt keinen Bock, den Weg nochmal zu gehen, deswegen Schitte drauf. Nearby a fireplace. Oh, ich glaube, sie hat da keine Lust.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two
Nearby
of them were
a fireplace.
inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the
Gott, warum ist die Decke da
was
oben?
2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Genau.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So, wo ist die Figur? Da stand ja nearby a fireplace, ne? Und wo? Aha, da ist es doch.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one. And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
Jetzt fehlt nur noch eine Figur. Dann haben wir alle. Ich weiß nicht wieso, aber das gibt mir irgendwie gerade ein bisschen Nightmare House Flashbacks. Oh, Nightmare House war auch so ein geiles Game,
The
ne?
elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Damn, kann ich nicht mehr hoch?
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Okay. Die Zahl 3 war anscheinend ja doch faszinierender als gedacht. Dann drücken wir doch mal die Taste 3.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket. but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Ja, aber jetzt habe ich keine Lust mehr auf die Zahl 3, jetzt habe ich Bock auf die Zahl 7. Also 3 ist aber auch so faszinierend, ne? Aber okay. Na dann.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Mhm. 0047.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Ist es nicht so, dass diese 0047 quasi diese Programmiercode ist, der fast in jedem Spiel ist, so als Gag? Kann das sein? Das ist die
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved
Dun, dun, dun,
instrument,
dun.
weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Ja, ich meinte eigentlich, okay. Naja, kann man ja trotzdem versuchen, ne? Aber dass da einmal die Zahl 3 nicht so faszinierend findet wie ich, ist schon traurig.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Der Eimer muss verstehen, wie bedeutend die Zahl 3 ist. Der Eimer muss es verstehen.
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over.
Das ist neu.
He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Oh mein Gott, ich
For
hab
months,
jetzt...
he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Ich habe jetzt nicht damit gerechnet, dass ich hier irgendein Ende damit triggern werde, mit der Zahl 3, aber als ich mit dem Aufzug hoch und so gehe, war okay, alles klar. All eyes on Stanley, live on stage. So Leute, Pressekonferenz, wir wollen darüber reden, warum die Zahl 3 so gut ist, ne? Weil in naher Zukunft vielleicht Stanley Parable 3 kommen kann. Oh. World's healthiest human being, all tricks revealed. How we did it, the pyramids, the guy who went to Mars. Das ist alles Papalapap hier. Alles papalapap. Ich werde euch heute zeigen, warum die Zahl 3 so besonders ist, Leute. Damit der Eimer das auch mal endlich verstehen kann. An evening with World Peace Baby. Was? World Peace Baby. Hat das Baby Weltfrieden gebracht oder? Damn. Das ist nicht nochmal ein gutes Baby. Einfach den Weltfrieden gebracht. Nice. Toll, jetzt bin ich nicht mehr so stolz auf unsere Tochter. Stage Door. Okay, dann nicht. The Storyteller. Stanley reveals all in his new book. Ja, jetzt sehen wir mal Stanleys Gesicht immer so richtig. Wusste ich doch, die Chinesen haben heimlich die Pyramiden gebaut. Ja. The Stanley's Parable. Stanley tonight live on stage. Was steht da hinten? Stanley from the Stanley Parable. World's first sentient machine. Ah. Oh, alles langweilig. Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great. To stage. 3. Will das Entwicklerteam uns sagen, dass es vielleicht einen dritten Teil von Stanley Parable geben wird?
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Das ist unsere Stage. Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from. Your coworkers. So, Leute. Free again. Free again. So, Eimer. Ich werde dir... sogar eine eigene Minigolfstelle hier. So, Eimer. Ich werde dir heute sagen, warum die Zahl 3 so besonders ist. Damit du endlich verstehst, was an der 3 so besonders ist. Wobei meine persönliche Lieblingszahl ist eigentlich 7, aber heute werden wir dir sagen, warum die Zahl 3 so besonders ist. Weil das wahrscheinlich eine Ankündigung darauf ist, dass es in Zukunft ein Stanley Parable 3 geben wird. Und da stehe ich für meinen Namen. Was, 7, nicht 69? Nee. Doch. Oh. An audience with the dude who came up with pizza. Oh, den Dude will ich auch kennenlernen. Der Dude, der Pizza erfunden hat. Damn. Holy shit. So. The Lord meet and greet. Ich kann sogar Gott hier treffen. Oh, Jesus, ist ja mega nice.
There
Oh.
was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over.
What it really means to press
He
the
was
number 3 on the
unloved,
keypad over and over. Presented by
Uninteresting. He was
Stanley.
a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less,
Oh nein, das ist ja
neither wishing to
traurig.
state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Das ist ja traurig. Keiner ist zur Pressekonferenz gekommen, zu der Zahl 3. Und ich wollte so viele spannende Themen über die Zahl 3 erzählen.
All of his co-workers
Das
were
ist ja
gone.
traurig, keiner
What
ist
could it
gekommen.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be... Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Somewhere above red and blue. Mhm. Mhm.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Bin ja schon unterwegs.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the
Was war denn der Code
presence of the
nochmal?
bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable.
2,
At
8,
this
4,
point,
5.
Stanley was so absorbed in the tender, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Damn.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Ich hatte einen Zahlendreher gehabt. So, jetzt wollen wir ja mal legit bleiben hier. Wir wollen ja das richtig jetzt mal machen hier. The fuck?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Ja, komm. Mein Gott, die Verlockung ist einfach zu groß.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Wir kontrollieren uns alle. Oh, nee, doch. Oh. In Wirklichkeit ist es der Erzähler, der uns was erzählt hier. Ha!
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped.
Ja, zum Beispiel 427, da bin ich. Nicht.
The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Was ist bei 416? Ah, okay. I see, I see, I see. Employee fired. He fired. Okay. Illuminaten. Yes.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
Also wir können ja unsere Gedanken beherrschen, aber nicht die Gedanken vom Eimer. Sonst ist ja wirklich alles im Eimer. Oh!
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in
Du musst
the
vor dem
entire
Fahrstuhl
world.
warten und nicht
At
reingehen.
this point,
Stimmt, da war
he
ja
could
was.
trust no one except for the bucket.
Aber ich glaube, das war schon beim ersten Teil auch so tatsächlich.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Oh.
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world.
Stanley und einmal gegen die Welt.
In a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
So. Stanley und der Eimer sitzen auf dem Baum, knutschen die Ärsche, man glaubt es kaum. Beim anderen kannst du herunterspringen. Was? Stimmt.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
Oh nein.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
Dieses
Even the
Gebäude.
facility
Oh mein
itself
Gott.
recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Was wird Stanley herausfinden? Oh, Jesus. Jetzt weiß ich, wo wir eingesperrt sind, im Abfalleimer.
All of his coworkers were
Oh,
gone.
du hast
What did it
recht.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Warte.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley
Was
clasped
ist,
the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the
wenn
door.
wir den Eimer durch den Escape-Pod jagen und dann zum Control Room gehen?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping in.
Was ist, wenn wir den Eimer jetzt zum Escape-Pod bringen? Und dann zur Facility selber gehen? Triggert das dann vielleicht irgendwas? Safe, oder? Da wird doch bestimmt irgendwas kommen, oder? Da bin ich mir doch sehr sicher. Da wird doch safe was passieren. So, dann bringen wir mal den Eimer zum Escape-Pod zurück. Ist ja nur ein bisschen Treppen steigen. Dann kommt wieder der emotionale Abschied. So. Weil man selber konnte man ja nicht daraus flüchten. Aber wenn ich den einmal zuerst flüchten lasse und dann ich im Nachhinein. That's a very good question, Stanley. Da bin ich doch mal sehr gespannt, was passieren wird. So, guck mal, da steht auch 3. 3 ist eine schöne Zahl. So, einmal, es wird Zeit zu flüchten für dich. Das ist der einzige Weg für dich raus. Wir sehen uns auf der anderen Seite einmal. Wir sehen uns auf der anderen Seite. Wir sehen uns auf der anderen Seite.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from
So, der
then
Eimer
on,
ist
he would
erfolgreich
never be
geflüchtet.
alone ever again.
Der Eimer ist erfolgreich
When
geflüchtet.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Müssen wir noch den letzte Stanley Gur finden.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
New Age Music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, danke schön für die spannende New Age Musik. Das war sehr beruhigend. Das war wirklich sehr beruhigend. Not gonna lie. So, und jetzt flüchten wir selber aus der
Stanley
Facility.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very
Wir schalten den
And as
Bums
the
hier
cold
aus
reality of his past began
und
to
flüchten
sink
und
in,
sehen uns auf der anderen
Stanley
Seite mit dem
decided that
Eimer
this
wieder.
machinery would
Wir sehen uns einmal. Wir sehen uns.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
Ich möchte zu meinem Eimer.
Through the open door.
Möchte zu meinem Eimer. Das ist schon krass, wie viele verschiedene Dialoge der Sprecher hat. Oh ja, das
Stanley
stimmt.
felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Damn. Das Spiel auch mal so ernst sein kann, ne? Krass, ne? Oh. Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Irgendwas stimmt hier nicht. Der Eimer ist wieder back.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay. Nicht weitergehen, Ende übersehen. Wie Ende übersehen, was? Och nö.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs.
Den Raum bekommt man nur selten. Och nö. Och nö.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post.
God damn it. Ach, Scheiße.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Am Anfang konntest du die Türen öffnen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
God damn it. Also, da checkt man einmal die Türen nicht ab, ne? Da checkt man einmal nicht die Türen ab und dann so ein Shit.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ah, ja. Justin, das hättest du vorher schreiben müssen.
Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Ihnen das schon selber auf den Sack geht. Kann ich den Raum nochmal triggern, indem ich das Ende nochmal mache? Och Mann. God damn it. Da checkt man einmal nicht die Türen ab.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Du musst die ganze Zeit am besten neu starten. Was? Aber hat es was nicht mit dem Ende zu tun gehabt, dass ich das bekommen habe?
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Oder war es halt wirklich jetzt gerade nur Zufall, dass ich das bekommen habe? Oh.
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Ich kann wirklich hier runterspringen, so, ne? Krass. Ah. Oh. Aber wenn du sagst, dass das Zufall ist... Damn.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it.
Oh,
and you're
okay.
all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours, so here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
Okay.
We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Geiler Songname. Komm.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. The railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Danke. Dankeschön. Das war nett. Das war schön. So. Du sagst, es ist Zufall, das Ding zu bekommen. Sicher? Ja, dass es Zufall ist.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Hat mich
he
irgendwie
entered
an I
the door
fought
on
the
his
law
left.
and the law 1 erinnert. Okay. Was ist? Wenn ich einfach aus Jux, ich weiß, Justin, du hast gesagt, das ist Zufall,
Coming to
aber
a
was
staircase,
ist?
Stanley walked upstairs to
Ich mach
his
das jetzt
boss's
einfach mal,
office.
ne? Ich mach das mal. Yeah, bla bla bla.
Here's the door, just go.
Dankeschön. Dankeschön, Dankeschön. Wenn der Erzähler selber keinen Bock mehr hat. Good job, you did it. Yeah, yeah. Good job, you did it. Das ist doch schön. Aber ich glaube, ich habe den Bug damals auch
Stanley
selber
walked straight ahead through the
entdeckt.
large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose
Was
on
eigentlich,
an
wenn du
enormous room
da nach
packed with
unten einfach nach
television
Escape
screens.
gehst?
What
Das werden wir dann beim
horrible
nächsten
secret
Part
did this
erfahren,
place
ne?
hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Das
Did he have the strength to
erfahren wir beim
find
nächsten
out?
Part. Wenn du vor dem Fahrstuhl wartest, kommt ein Easter Egg. Also kein Ending. Weißt du, man muss ja wirklich in diesem Spiel wirklich alles ausprobieren, ne?
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Also wirklich
Their true
alles
nature
ausprobieren.
revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Good job, you did it. Yeah, yeah, good job, you did it.
Individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom.
Weißt du, auf den ganzen Scheiß muss man erstmal kommen. Nach einer Zeit öffnet sich das Tor wieder.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content.
Jetzt habe ich einen Ohrwurm, mich auch.
Eating, working.
Good job, you did it. Yeah, yeah, good job, you did it. Ich sag dann schon mal einen schönen Abend noch und einen guten Start in die Woche. Tschüss, ne? Stärke 28, schön, dass du dabei warst, ne? Ehrenkuss raus, ich wünsche dir auch einen schönen Start, ne? In die Woche. Will ich wissen, was der Sprecher so an Gage bekommen hat. Ordentlich. Ich glaube, das könnte tatsächlich auch ein Sprecher sein, halt vom Entwicklerstudio, ne? Der so eine krasse Stimme. Also der Typ hat eine echt geile Erzählerstimme, ne? Der hat eine echt geile Erzählerstimme.
Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
Der Erzähler hat wirklich echt eine gute Stimme. Also die Stimme ist echt schon Jökkusee, Alter. Mashallah ist das. Die Stimme.
Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Und Stanley war glücklich.
And Stanley was happy.
So, Daumen drücken und hoffen, dass das wieder kommt. Oh, schade. Goddammit. Hat sich die Musik verändert? Die Musik hat sich verändert.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps.
Okay, Leute. So gerne ich es auch weitermachen würde, ne? Muss ich jetzt leider aufhören. Ja, damit würde ich mal sagen, ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Wir sehen uns auf jeden Fall zum nächsten Stream von Stanley Parable 2 wieder. Bei Tisch 403.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
433. Was soll denn hier
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Bei 433 gibt es gegenüber. What? Crouchen, um auf den Tisch zu glitschen. Oh. Oh, lol. Achso, ich bin nur aufgestanden. Hm? Crouchen, um auf den Tisch zu glitschen. Oh. Oh, lol. Okay.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Hast du diesen Witz satt? Nein.
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Okay. Naja. Alles klar. Dann würde ich einfach mal sagen, beim nächsten Mal gucken wir es nochmal an, ne? Jetzt hat das mir schmackhaft gemacht, so, ne? Also Leute, ich wünsche euch noch einen schönen Start in die neue Woche, ne? Und wir sehen uns dann zum nächsten Video, zum nächsten Livestream wieder, ne? Bis dann und haut rein. Bye, bye.